Do you like running down the street naked? I don't. It takes a lot of courage. Courage you will find if you wear one of these Polizei 144 shirts. And if you wear one, you might even start talking like this. Like the time Clint Eastwood said to me, "That's a pretty fancy jacket." That's the same thing he would say to you if you were wearing one of these shirts, available at polizei144.com. Or you could click the link in the description to find the link you need. Because I don't drive junk. Is that how it's supposed to go? Are we sure that works with that voice? Ah, fuck it.
In 1979, the U.S. Delta Force went to Iran to rescue the Americans that had been taken hostage by the Iranian revolutionaries. They brought a fleet of helicopters. But if you know anything about helicopters, like wheels, 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Today on Morgan versus my Morgan three-wheeler against this, the OneWheel Plus. Wheel and tire. The Morgan obviously is awesome. It has wire spoke wheels and mediocre brakes and okay tires, and it says Morgan on it. The OneWheel has some. So there's a thing. This is some. I don't know what's happening here. It's not very attractive. Probably not very effective. This is junk, and the Morgan wins. Performance. The Morgan does 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds and will top out at 120 miles an hour. On the OneWheel Plus, no one cares. If you want to know about performance, every time you get in the OneWheel, you are in danger of performing the most pathetic fall on the ground and embarrassing yourself. It is a wretched disaster, and no matter how good you are probably going to embarrass yourself, even if you ride it perfectly. The OneWheel has a brushless hub motor. I don't know exactly what a brushless hub motor is. Well, actually I do, and I don't particularly care, because the Morgan is also a brushless design, and the motor is separated from the hub. This thing has, something I don't really care. This is junk, and the Morgan wins. The OneWheel Plus has a lithium-ion battery, which would appear to be vastly superior to the Morgan, which only has a nickel-cadmium battery, which often goes dead because the alternator is shit. You know something? Actually, in this case, the OneWheel Plus wins. In the Morgan, you can go between 120 and 200 miles, I guess. It holds 11 gallons. On the OneWheel, you have to plug it into the wall, and it takes about 20 minutes to recharge, and that gets you between 6 and 15 miles. I don't really know. But in a Tesla, in 20 minutes, you can get about 150 miles, and in 30 minutes, up to 280. So this is obviously junk, and the Morgan wins. Now, OneWheel Plus claims that they have a highly intuitive control system, which is based on some kind of gyroscope design, which you have to be highly trained to use. Unlike the Morgan, which has a steering wheel and requires absolutely no training, just a wallet and some courage. Let's bring in my panel of highly skilled judges. Kids, what do you think of the OneWheel Plus?
Junk!
Morgan wins. Suspension. In what universe does a company that pretends to be the Tesla of hoverboards sell a piece of trash like this? There is no suspension. Try suspension of disbelief. On this thing, you've got basically a piece of wood with a wheel, and this thing should cost 2 cents. It costs $1,500. At least in the Morgan, you have an excuse. It's 100 years old design-wise. The OneWheel would appear to be great in terms of anti-theft because you can take it with you. The problem is when you take it with you, it's embarrassing and no one wants to talk to you. It sucks. Whereas in the Morgan, your anti-theft system is the removable steering wheel, where everywhere you take it, people want to talk to you because they want to learn who you are and why you're carrying a steering wheel while your vehicle remains unstealable. Therefore, this is junk, and the Morgan wins. Ingress and egress. Not so much. Visibility is incredible. You have complete 360 visibility on the horizontal plane, but also on the vertical. I can see everything up and down that I might strike, making this maybe the safest mode of transportation in the history of vehicles. There's only one problem, which is that you are eventually gonna hit something or fall off, and this thing's absolute junk, and the Morgan wins. The OneWheel as a mode of transportation absolutely sucks, and as a statement of coolness is pretty high, but none of this matters without driving impressions. So, I've never ridden this before. I don't know what.
What? No, sorry, I'm just standing over.
Okay, let's try this. More like, let's try this. I'm having some trouble with mobility. It's always on, isn't it? Does it have a switch? It would be good if we had turned it on. Now it's on. Let's see what happens. Okay, now it's on. Let's give it a go. This is a very cool device, and it's probably a great value for $1,500. But you can't be cool if you don't look cool. And compared to the Morgan three-wheeler, this is junk, and the Morgan wins.